Welcome to the WolfPack Sports Wire, a podcast from the athletic department at Whitefield Academy. Whitefield Academy is a Christ-centered pre-K through 12 college preparatory school located in Smyrna, Georgia. On this show, we highlight our hardworking coaches and student athletes who are excelling in and out of competition.
Welcome back to the WolfPack Sports Wire. I'm your host, Jack Hunter. I hope everybody had a great fall break and are ready for the short but busy week ahead. It's the week of October 13th, 2025, and today is episode 9 of the show. Because of the short week, we'll be mixing up the normal show order today. First, it's a crucial time in the fall sports calendar with many of our fall sports teams in the postseason or almost there. I'll give you an update of where all of our teams stand, and then we'll be joined, as we are every week, by Whitefield head football coach Robert Walsh to discuss last week's win over Best Academy and Friday's sub-region title game here at Whitefield Academy versus Landmark Christian. This episode is brought to you by U.S. Cafe, 101 Steak, Chick-fil-A, Muss & Turner's, McRae's Tavern, Los Bravos, and Max Restaurants. Thank you for your generous support of Packbackers and Whitefield Athletics. That is a great dining list. Now let's get back to the show. We start our update in Rome, where the Whitefield volleyball team's season came to an end last night as they fell in 4 sets to Darlington in the first round of the GHSA playoffs. The team fell behind 2-0, but showed their toughness by forcing a 4th set. It was a good first year for head coach Heather DeSantis and for 4 senior student athletes, and the team has a bright future ahead. For more on this team, check out episode 3 with Coach DeSantis or episode 8 with senior Blair Kennerly. To the Diamonds, the WolfPack softball team earned a first-round bye in the state playoffs following a strong regular season. They will travel to Kings Ridge for a best-of-3 series starting next Wednesday, the 22nd. With the bye, Whitefield has now advanced to the Sweet 16 again this year after doing it last year for the first time in program history. So, a series win next week would set a new bar for the program that's been on the rise in the past few years. It should be a good series as Whitefield lost a narrow 1-run game to the Tigers on the road earlier this season. For more on the team, check out episode 2 with head coach Mike Fuller or episode 6 with senior CC Springfield. To the course we go. The boys and girls cross-country teams most recently raced on October 4th at the ASICS Invitational, where they raced against some great competition in schools from all classifications. The boys finished 3rd out of 38 schools, and the girls finished 30th out of 46. On Saturday, they'll race in the 23rd annual Coach Wood Invitational in Whitesburg, Georgia. It's their last meet before sectionals, and then the state championship on November 7th at Carrollton. For more on our team, hear from head coach Zach Justice in episode 1, junior Lucy Blee in episode 5, and Bo Mitchell in episode 7. Down to the middle school, 2 Metro 10 titles are up for grabs today. 5th and 6th grade football look to complete a perfect season tonight at 5:30 versus Mount Perrin at home in the Metro 10 Championship. And middle school boys and girls cross country hit the road to race in their Metro 10 Championship at Allatoona Creek Park in Ackworth this afternoon. Lastly, our varsity football team is now winners of 6 straight games after defeating Best Academy last Friday 42-8. They now turn to this Friday versus Landmark Christian. It's the Sub-Region Championship, Senior Night, and now the Fox 5 Game of the Week. With that, let's catch up with our head football coach, Robert Walsh. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Jack. How about you?
I'm doing well. It was fall break this past week for the students, and so academically they had Monday and Tuesday off. Wednesday is a testing day. How were you able to balance letting some of these guys get a little bit of a break, but also focusing for a big game this upcoming Friday?
So we didn't really come back to practice until Monday, 7 p.m. They started in the weight room. So right after Friday's game, give some of the families an opportunity to get out of town for a 3-day weekend and try to start practice as late as possible to allow them to get back into town. So I think it's important, our families enjoy getting away, especially our seniors. It's like one last fall break with their senior boys. So just allowing them to get back into town. But it was pretty cool practicing under their lights too on Monday night.
Let's talk about last Friday's game before we move on to the game this upcoming Friday. So 42-8 win, as I mentioned. It was one of those games you guys kind of took care of business in the first quarter. You're up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Allowed for some backups, some ninth graders even to get in on the action. What did you think about the game and how you guys were able to kind of play to your standard?
I think the biggest thing going into that game is when you're playing an opponent like Best, where they're struggling this year, you just want to go out and play to your standard. Start fast. Hopefully get a lot of guys some playing time, some young guys who practice just like the varsity guys do. Give them some minutes underneath the Friday night lights. So we were able to do that. Now we're having to count quarters for JV this week and make sure that we don't go over that quarter limit with a few of our guys. But it was definitely exciting for those guys to play underneath the lights. But sometimes those games aren't fun for either team. Just being a part of them and trying to find the balance of holding your kids to a high standard, but also understanding your opponent is struggling this year.
Yeah, there's some good plays from some of the JV guys. Miller Plyer got an interception, some good tackles, some good offensive play there. They really got extended playing time, and they got to play multiple quarters. How big is that for their development, and how can that kind of pay off in further years when they are the guys?
I think anytime they're able to get underneath the lights on a Friday night and get that experience and go ahead and understand what it means to be on the field, I think is important, especially this year. Our freshmen have to kind of earn the right to dress. So some of those guys earned the right to dress this past Friday night, and were able to get a lot of minutes, which was huge for them.
Your quarterback Landon Ryan had another good game, and it's easy to expect in a game like that you guys might rush all over them and not really need to pass the ball. But Landon was 7 for 9 passing, 137 yards, and 4 passing touchdowns. It was the 4th game this year. He's thrown over 3 passing touchdowns. He's got 14 passing touchdowns on the year and just eclipsed 1,000 yards passing. What have you seen in terms of his development as a passer throughout the season?
I mean, you're seeing all the hard work that he's put in the off season, his quarterback training, watching film, spending Tuesday and Thursday mornings with me in the off season, just doing chalk talk, understanding what defenses may be trying to do to us. It's just pretty cool to see all that hard work pay off for him. And then the film study he puts in during the week, understanding what defenses are doing coverage-wise, even their fronts, and understanding where the pressure's coming from, I think has been huge for his development this season.
All right, so moving to upcoming this Friday, obviously a big game, a lot of implications here. Number one may be the sub-region championship. If you guys want to play in the region title in a few weeks, you got to take care of this one. And you're playing a strong team. They haven't lost yet this year. They're 7-0 on the year. Their defense is allowing less than a touchdown a game. They're scoring about 35, 36 points a game. What do you think it's going to take to beat a team that's playing some good football right now?
Defensively for them, they want to be super aggressive. They want to blitz. They want to play man to man. They want to try to create negative plays. For us, we have to play to our standard, but also have to play an up-tempo offense like we've been playing all year to make it hard on their defensive coordinator to get those guys organized. We're going to have to throw a lot of formations at them offensively, hopefully to spring Mason free or leave a receiver wide open because they get a little confused with what they're trying to do defensively. To stop their offense, obviously it goes through Skylar Hamilton. He's the son of Joe Hamilton who played at Georgia Tech. He's a pretty good quarterback. The offense goes through him. And number 2, Javon Freeney, who's a really good receiver. I would say this is definitely the best quarterback receiver duo that we've seen probably since Savannah Christian with Blaze Thomas and Weston Hughes. So definitely going to present a lot of challenges, but I'm excited about the opportunity.
So when you get a dual threat quarterback like Skylar Hamilton, a guy that can take off, guy that can really throw the football, what challenges does it present defensively, knowing that there's a lot of different things that you have to look out for? I mean, you may get a good pass rush on him, but he's got the ability to escape, but he can also really throw the ball sideline to sideline or throw it down the field.
I think it's being disciplined with your eyes, and that's something we've really harped on this week with our defense is being disciplined with your eyes. I've heard Coach Bentley say it several times, keep your eyes on your luggage in coverage and pass rush and different things. So I think it's just going to take eye discipline. He is their leading rusher. And he's thrown for over 1,000 yards. Javon Farini's been the target of a lot of those. So, we're just going to have to do our job is the biggest thing, and hopefully contain him enough to where we can score and put some pressure on him.
So with the schedule and with the bye and with how you guys have been playing, the last real close game that you guys played was Pacelli on the 19th, and that game broke open in the fourth quarter. And the last one that was all the way through was on the 5th at Social Circle. So do you think it's been a challenge or to keep this team motivated and get this team ready for a game, especially if it whenever it's going to happen at some point where you guys are playing down to the wire and playing a really close game where one turnover, one play may make the difference?
I think our boys are hungry. They have a chip on their shoulder. Landmark has received a lot of publicity over the last few weeks because they're undefeated. They're scoring a lot of points, and you got Skylar Hamilton at quarterback for them, the son of a Georgia Tech legend here in Atlanta. So we're not in a lot of people's rankings right now, and our kids take that personal. And the way we practice and we structure practice, we try to make practice harder than the game, so the games seem a little bit easier. I think we do a good job with that as a coaching staff. So I think our boys are prepared to play in a close game just based on what we do in practice and things like that.
And also, it's to be mentioned, too, that it's senior night this upcoming week. And obviously, I hope we don't have to reflect on the season too much or on these guys for a while. But as we take a kind of second to pause and recognize these seniors on Friday night, over 15 of them, what have they meant to the program, and what is Friday night going to mean to you and to them being recognized for their years of contribution?
There's no doubt this is a special senior class to me. I've kind of referenced this season as potentially being my favorite season of coaching high school football. I compare it kind of to 2018 when I was at Savannah Christian. And it has a lot to do with the seniors. The joy, the energy, spiritually, the way they carry themselves on this campus and in our locker room. It not only has an impact on their teammates and their peers, but it's had an impact on me as a coach and a man wanting to be better for them. I hope we play as long as we can with this group. It's a special class. They're going to hold a special place in my heart, and I love each one of them like they're a son or a little brother to me.
That's great. So it's going to be a great atmosphere on Friday, senior night, sub-region championship. Friday nights are always just a great atmosphere in general. We're going to have some local media there. What do you think on the field it's going to take to pull out a win and secure this sub-region championship?
There's a lot of distractions outside of the game itself, being on the field. So our boys, as I've told them all season, we have to ignore the noise, ignore all the positive things that have been said about you, continue to keep a chip on your shoulder, and go out and execute. We've done that pretty much every Friday night, minus a half this season against Savannah Christian. So I'm hopeful. I feel like we're in a good spot right now, especially this week of practice. I think our kids have been sharp. They've executed well at practice, and they've practiced with great energy. So I think it's just going to take us executing, doing our job, and ignoring all the distractions that come along with this Friday night game.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck this upcoming Friday.
All right. Go Pack.
That'll do it for today's episode of the WolfPack Sports Wire. Congratulations to all of our student athletes and coaches right now for the success they've had this fall, and we look forward to seeing how the end of this season plays out. Thanks for making it to the end, and we'll catch you next week on The Wire.